Assalamualaikum. Today my teammates and I are going to present our assignment with our chosen topic, which is the function of law. So if I ask all of you what is law, so you must be thinking that law is only a set of rules and regulations, but actually law has a lot more than that. So according to E. Adamson Hobble in his book The Law of Primitive Man, laws is the aspect which employs the force of organized society to regulate individual and group conduct and to prevent redress or punish deviation from prescribed social norms. Law is also the body of rules enacted by the government and enforced by a sovereign political authority. Law must be enacted and enforced by a sovereign legitimate authority. There are various sources of law. The first one is custom. It originated from the early human civilization where people's lives were regulated by customs and practices. Next, religion. In Western countries, laws are taken from the Bible or Protestant ethics, while in Muslim world, laws that are rooted in Quran, Hadith, and Sunnah are called Sharia law. Third, adjudication. It is a judge-made laws when the judges couldn't find suitable law when dealing with a case. Fourth, juristic writing is the writings of great jurists and scholars. And lastly, legislation. Legislation is the parliament itself where all laws, policies and programs of the states are debated by the Dewan Rakyat and Dewan Negara.
The first function of law is provide rules that must be followed by every member of society by setting standard and limitation in each activity. Law provide rules that must be followed by every member in society by setting standards and limitation in each activity. No one or any party can be allowed to go to the extreme or exaggerate to the point of oppressing other members of society. In general, everything in Malaysia has its own rules and laws. It is an act designed to provide for the regulation of motor vehicle and traffic on roads and other matters relating to roads and vehicle to provide for the protection of third party against risks arising from the use of motor vehicle, to make provision for the coordination and control of means and facility for transport. Okay, so the first is every motor vehicle user must obey the laws and regulation of the road to ensure the safety of other road user. It is specially designed to ensure that every road user obeys to the road laws properly to avoid any risk of accidents occurring such as causing death. For example, is as found in the Road Transport Act 1987, Act 333, and the Traffic Regulation 1958, Part 2, in bracket Romans 4, driving and related offences, which are types of reckless or dangerous driving offences leading to death. This offence is under Section 41, bracket 1, and under the punishment of Section 41, bracket 1. After taking into account all the circumstances including the type, condition and size of the road and the traffic congestion expected that is or may be on the road which is dangerous to the public, causing to the death of any person commit an offence, and when convicted shall sentenced to imprisonment for a period of not less than 2 years and not more than 10 years, and a fine not less than Rm 5,000 and not more than Rm 20,000. Okay, so that all types of punishment that have been convicted are through court decision. This makes the court play an important role in determining the punishment for the offender.
One of function of law is resolving disputes. Disputes can happen in our daily lives and could arise in different contexts, such as business, employment, family, and civil matters. People could use various methods and processes to resolve disputes and conflict between parties, and this would be referred to as dispute resolution. In Malaysia, several dispute resolution methods are available to parties, mainly categorized as litigation and alternative dispute resolution. The function that resolves disputes in law is primarily carried out by the judicial system, where judges or arbitrators analyze evidence, apply relevant law, and make decisions to resolve conflict between parties. By resolving disputes, it ensures protect of individuals' rights, and interest by enforcing applicable laws and regulation. Moreover, alternative dispute resolution methods such as mediation and arbitration also can be utilized outside of traditional court settings. Resolving disputes throughout legal channels help prevent parties from taking matters into their own hands and resorting to understand the law as well as disputes resolution. In consumer case, it's important to note that consumer protection only came into being on 15 November 1999. Prior to that date, the law as well as disputes resolution of case pertaining to consumer contained in several different pieces of legislation pertaining to different types. The use of alternative means to dispute resolution were not greatly encouraged into the earlier legislation, because of which disputes were regulated in the ordinary civil court, primarily on breach of contract cause of action. For example, the Land Acquisition Act 1916, in case where disputes arise over land acquisition by the government for public purpose. This act provides mechanism for compensation and resolution of disputes between landowner and the government. In cases where disputes arise over land acquisition by the government to public purpose, this act provides mechanism for compensation and resolution of disputes between landowner and the government authorities. The primary purpose of the Land Acquisition Act is to facilitate an acquisition of the land by the government for projects considered to be in the public interest, such as infrastructure development. The Act outlines which land can be, including the issue of a notice and legal procedure for the transfer of the land ownership to the government. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I will be present the third function of law. So the third function of law is maintaining order and guarantee justice in society. Laws serve as rules that government behavior and interaction between individual and institution. Law provides framework for resolving dispute, punishing wrongdoing, and promoting justice. For example, the Business Registration Act 1976. Business law is very important to traders who want to do a business in Malaysia. It can be divided into business contract, dispute resolution, and hiring a lawyer. Registration a business is required to prove that the business is final, legal, and certificate by law to carry out contract with banks, government agency, and non-government entities. Every business needs to have a license and verification certificate before starting a business. If there are businesses that do business without a license, they may be subject to legal action or be sued and others. The last point is to promote a just and orderly society in which individuals can live in peace and interact fairly with each other. So that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum. So now I will continue with my point, which is upholding and protecting human rights. So it has been highlighted that slavery and forced labor are prohibited because everyone needs to be treated equally and with respect. So the government take action with publishing Human Rights Commission Act 1999, which is Act 597. So it is known as Human Rights Commission Malaysia, SUHAKAM in short. So this act is allocating and clarifying the purpose and function of SUHAKAM, which is in order to protect human rights. So with the legal system, those who violate human rights, even through civil or criminal law, need to be punished to ensure the justice. So for example, in Malaysia, there is a lot of race and culture. So everyone needs to be respectful with each other in order to develop a great country and community. So this will lead to a good example to the other international country. Hence, it will make our country to a good quality of community and have a good relation with each other. So there will be no issue regarding to race or religion or culture. So I will pass to my friends.
In conclusion, the functions of law are integral to the stability and functionality of society. By providing a structured framework, laws help ensure justice and equality, fostering a sense of security and predictability as our fourth pillar of Rukun Negara stated, which is upholding the rule of law.